The next thing up that we're going to do, while that chicken is cooking in there, we're going to move on to the salad, or it could be an appetizer, but the salad you could eat for lunch, you could eat it any time, but it's going to be your little side, along with some other vegetables I'm going to do. I was like, are you going to give it to me? No, you're not going to give it to me? No, you're going to give it to me. There we go. Kale salad. Now, kale had its moment and has had its moment for quite some time now. I got tired of it. Now I like it again. But what I did is I mixed it with 2 different types of kale just for color purposes, because, you know, I love colorful food. And just to, I don't know, give it something different, a little different dimension. So let's pull up the recipe so you know what's going to happen here. We've got a mixed kale, beet, and apple salad with baked goat cheese. Yum, 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 yum. So I have one, Mike, you're just laughing at me today. So I have 1 bunch of red kale with the ribs removed and cut into strips, which I'm going to show you in a little bit as I move this out of the way. 1 bunch of green kale, 1 Granny Smith apple that I cored, sliced thinly on my mandolin because I'm anal like that and want it to be even slices, but you don't have to use a mandolin if you don't have one. And quartered those, and I actually left the skin on the apple. A 4th cup of red onion that I also sliced on the mandolin, which you don't have to do, that I cut into 1/2-inch pieces. Roasted red and golden beets. If you went on my Instagram, you saw those the other day, yesterday. A 4th cup of pepitas, which are just pumpkin seeds that I toasted. And baked goat cheese rounds, which I'll show you how to do those in a second. So before we get started with this, I just want to talk about the kale. The kale. I feel like I'm in a pageant. Thank you. So what I did with the kale, and the best thing to do with this is you want to take this rib out, because obviously that is just not tasty at all. So there's 1 of 2 ways. You can clean it like you're cleaning greens. Yep. I knew someone was going to chime in on that. So you could do what I just did, and I pulled the rib out that way. Or you can take it and come in with your knife and just slice along, and watch your fingers. You see I have my little claw going on there, and just cut that out. And you could do it that way. It looks like a quill, like I should be writing.
You can use that for a centerpiece somewhere.
Yes, you could. Or a hat, like a feather.
Oh, you're fascinating.
And then what I did with this is I just came in and can you see that, Mike? I cut it in little strips, and that's how I got to that. But I have plenty of kale. I'm going to pass that along to you. We'll use that somewhere else later. So I have my kale. Now before, you know, kale tends to be a little bit tough, a little bit chewy sometimes. So I am going to wash my hands real quick. And if you guys have any questions, let me know as I'm going along here. I want to soften this up a bit. So I'm just going to squirt a little bit of olive oil on there and massage the kale.
You have to massage your greens, huh?
Yeah. Just get in there. And if you're mad at somebody, think about them. If you're No. Cook with love, not with hate. No, this is a true thing. Don't ever cook when you're angry, because I swear it shows up in the, Mike's nodding, it shows up in the food. It just doesn't taste good. So if you're mad, you better order some food in and not try to cook. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to do this, and you can start to see or feel, this is actually really satisfying, I can tell you. You can actually feel the texture of the kale softening. And it'll be easier to digest. It won't be so chewy. And also, I've started off with this, but I've done one of my vinaigrettes. I'm not going to demo it today because I've done it before that I'm using here, but that's going to add to softening it. And you see the volumes also going down.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah.
I like kale, and I always like it when I eat it out, but then I have it at home, and I'm
It's
like,
not-
I don't like this.
Yeah.
That's because I don't massage it.
You got to massage it. And
Break
so,
it down a little bit.
yeah, and it is breaking down. You see, this has gone down, the volume, absolutely.
It looks more delicious.
Yes.
Do you ever bake kale?
Like kale
make
chips, you mean?
chips?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're actually talking, I'm going to do some, well, I shouldn't tell you, it'll be a surprise, but I'm doing another type of chip coming up. That'll, 2 different types of chips with something I'm going to cook. I'm not telling you my secrets. But look at that. The volume has just like, what? Gone down. So don't worry that you have too much kale with 2 bunches. Look at that. It's like...
I've heard some people use lemon juice.
You could, yeah, the oil though, it's something with the oil that breaks it down and softens it. And I could keep doing this, but I want to be done in an hour, so let me wash my hands. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to burn anything, I promise. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So my kale has gone down in volume. It's all good. So now I'm going to add in all this other yummy stuff. So I'm going to add in my beets. Now, like I said, you saw the beets earlier on Instagram if you go on there. And I just want to pull up the recipe really fast and talk about this really quickly. So my beets, I doubled up the color because, again, I love colorful food. So there's 1 bunch of golden beets, 1 bunch of red beets, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme, teaspoons, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and a ½ teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. I just roasted these for, I think it was 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. And I flipped them halfway through. And the great thing about these could be a side just by themselves, you know. But I wanted them in this yummy, yummy stuff. So I'm going to dump those in there. Now, the other thing is I did, these have been kind of marinated in my dressing. So they're going to have a little bit more flavor, even more so than when I just roasted them. So I'm going to add that in. And then I have my apples, and like I said, they're very thinly sliced. As you can see, I left the thing on there. And I put a little lemon juice on these just so they don't turn so brown. Otherwise, yeah, the lemon juice, the acid will help, you know, you could do that on avocado too to keep it from browning. So if you have anything that as soon as the air, it hits the air and it oxidizes and starts to change color, a little lemon juice, a little lime juice just will slow that process down a little bit. So I'm going to add those apples in. That's going to give a little more sweetness to the whole thing. I'm going to save that to put on top. And then red onion, just because I like red onion.
It smells so good.
It does smell good. And it adds another dimension to this whole thing, you know. So we've got that. And then I have my roasted pepitas, which are just, all these are pumpkin seeds. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little of that in there.
So that's like pumpkin seeds without the shell?
Yeah. So let's kind of mix, a little crunch. So that is that. So now I want to dress my salad just a tiny bit. So I made one of my famous dressings. Yay! Yay! And it's very simple. It is a red wine vinegar with olive oil, with a little Dijon mustard, with a little shallot in there, some salt and pepper, shake, shake, shake. And like I said, make this, you have it all week to use. I'm just going to lightly dress it. And Dana, yes, I will leave the bottle over there with you.
You can drink it.
So, yeah, so you can drink it. I just want to lightly, not knock over things, lightly dress it because I already put the oil on there, remember? So we don't want it to get too crazy. So that's the salad. Now, but I'm not done yet. We're just going to set that aside. I'm going to ask you to give me that back in a second. So we need to top it off with something a little crunchy, a little salty, a little creamy. What could that be? Cheese! Yay! Cheese, please.
Did
So,
you see your face light up?
I know, I love cheese. You understand? I love cheese.
I know.
I'm actually going to post this cheese. There's a little French deli that I like to go to, and we ate it. Was it good, Mike?
Good stuff.
Was it good?
So creamy.
Yes.
This cheese was amazing, so I'm going to post a picture of it. So I'm always on the hunt for new cheeses, but one of my go-tos, one of my go-tos is the goat. They got very concerned when we were prepping for right before. I said to Andrea, I said, put the goat over there, and I'll do the goat later. And I see everybody's face kind of go. They're kind of like, is she serving goat today? I said, no, goat cheese. I call it goat. Just whatever. I need the egg whites and the little pan, that little one. So I have egg whites. So, when you do fried goat cheese or baked goat cheese, normally it's a full egg and it's breadcrumbs. So I was trying to lighten it a little bit, and I always try to take my recipes and lighten them a little bit. So what I've done, pull up the recipe, So we have 4 ounces of goat cheese that's been sitting in the refrigerator. I want to make sure it's cold. Cut into half-inch slices. 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme, and let's see, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, a 1/4 teaspoon fresh ground black pepper, 2 egg whites, and a 1/2 cup of panko. And that's where I'm going to get that crunch. I love this stuff. I've done the chicken nuggets with this, so it fools you into thinking it's fried, but it's not fried. But it's just a way around that, because I love crunchy food. That's my thing. I'm salty crunchy. Who's salty crunchy out there?
So you whipping the egg?
Yes, I'm giving the eggs just a tiny bit of a whip. And I'm going to take the panko, and we're going to do like the dredging. We're going to go from one thing to the other.
So that's going to be pretty cold, right? Because it'll just...
Yeah, you want it to be cold, and I'm just going to cover that.
Can you freeze it?
You could. I wouldn't. You know, milk products frozen tend to, I mean, ice cream obviously, but I don't know. Frozen cheese doesn't come back from it for whatever reason, you know?
Keep it chilled.
Yeah, I would just keep it as cold as you can. And it's so funny.
You guys talking about...
And you know
Yeah,
what?
I couldn't even tell you.
Talking about chili.
Yeah.
I just realized I left something out, so somebody isn't going to get some thyme. Sorry. I didn't throw the thyme in there. You didn't see that.
No time for you.
No time for you. I have no time for you. See, you made me break my cheese over here. It sounds so weird. Oh my gosh.
Break the goat.
I broke the goat. That's okay. That'll be my piece to nibble on.
Looks good.
Okay, so we're gonna put that in there. 2 more. And that's just gonna hold it together and give it a little crunch. And there we go. I'm gonna pass that to you. I'm gonna wash my hands because I'm using egg product and don't want that. And so, move that out of the way. There's that. That's gonna go into the oven. And I have it on 350. And I'm gonna have it in there for about 6 minutes. And it should actually time out with my chicken very close to that. So we're gonna just let that, isn't that good? Yay. Yay, perfect. So that's that. Oh, that's hot, don't touch. Don't touch it.
Mommy just came.
Mommy I was like, Mom, just don't touch it. Otherwise we'll be stopping the show and going to the emergency room, and I don't want to do that. So, we're ready for your beet salad, folks. Yay.
Lisa, Kevin says, hello all.
Hey, Kevin.
And
Yay, we got somebody it through. Oh, that means the chicken's done. Perfect timing. Look at that.
That was perfect timing, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't wait to try this massaged kale.
I've massaged it well. Anybody who's had my massages knows. Don't anybody say anything on social media about that. I'll be very upset. Some things must remain secret. Some techniques must remain secret. Why am I talking in that voice now? So what I'm going to do is, just to make it pretty, I'm going to throw, you didn't see that piece of apple that just fell on the floor. If I had a dog, it would pick it up. I have a cat, she will do nothing. She's kind of like, she's a cat. But I'm going to sprinkle some more of the pepitas on there. I gave you a little bit more of that. And I'm going to take these beautiful little crunchy things. That one got away, you didn't see that. And put it on top. And there you have it.
Wow.
I like this one. There's your kale salad. Just like that.